What you're seeing isn't a glitch in your display. It's a glimpse into one of the biggest, most unspoken threats to the future of artificial intelligence. For months, internet users have noticed a strange phenomenon. AI-generated images are starting to look the same. They're developing a weird yellowish tint, a kind of digital jaundice. And while you can find tutorials on how to de-yellow these images, you can't just edit away the underlying problem. This visual uniformity is a symptom of a much deeper crisis, a kind of digital inbreeding. We built these incredible tools to learn from the vast ocean of human creativity. But now, they're starting to learn from themselves. Instead of drinking from the endless well of human knowledge, they're sipping from their own reflection. And that reflection is getting more distorted with every sip. The promise was that AI would get smarter and smarter, compounding its intelligence with each new generation. But what if the opposite is happening? What if, by feeding AI its own creations, we're actually making it dumber? This isn't a far-off sci-fi concept. It's happening right now, and it could lead to an industry-wide degradation spiral. A future where our most powerful tools become progressively more biased, less creative, and dangerously unreliable. The scary part is, we've already seen what this collapse looks like. And to understand just how fragile these systems are, we need to look at an old royal family known for their own disastrous genetic problems. The Habsburgs were one of Europe's most powerful royal lines, but they had a fatal flaw. They were notorious for inbreeding. To keep power and wealth within the family, they married cousins, nieces, and uncles for generations. The result was a genetic collapse. Each new generation inherited and amplified a smaller and smaller pool of genetic information, leading to severe physical and mental deformities. Now, researchers are using this same analogy to describe what's happening to AI. They're calling it Habsburg AI. When an AI model is trained on data created by another AI, it's not learning anything new. It's essentially learning from a copy of a copy. Just like with the Habsburgs, the gene pool of information shrinks. The biases, flaws, and quirks of the parent AI don't just get passed on, they get amplified. Scientists decided to test this theory in a controlled experiment, and the results were chilling. Researchers from the UK and Canada took an AI model and trained it to draw handwritten numbers, using a real data set of human handwriting. It learned the task perfectly. Then, they took the numbers the AI generated and used them as the training data for the next generation of the model. They repeated this process over and over. What they witnessed was a slow-motion collapse. After just 5 generations, the system's biases were already magnified. The diversity of the numbers started to shrink. After 20 generations, the numbers had become blurry and distorted. By the 30th generation, they had all collapsed into a single, unrecognizable smudge. The AI had essentially forgotten what numbers were supposed to look like. It's a phenomenon they call model collapse, and it doesn't just happen with images. The very same decay is happening to the language models that power the chatbots we use every day. It's one thing to see an AI fail at drawing numbers, but what happens when this digital inbreeding infects language? Researchers ran another experiment to find out. They gave a chatbot a simple prompt: to cook a turkey for Thanksgiving, you, and had it complete the sentence. Then, just like with the numbers, they fed its own answers back into it for the next round of training. At first, the responses were what you'd expect. Instructions about preheating the oven, seasoning the bird, and checking the temperature. But as the generations went on, the answers started to get weird. The AI began to focus on the most average, most common words and phrases, while the more unique and creative parts of its vocabulary started to disappear. This is what experts call early collapse. The chatbot's responses became bland, safe, and increasingly repetitive. Then came the late collapse. After several more iterations of this self-feeding loop, the chatbot went completely off the rails. Its answer to the turkey question devolved into an endless, nonsensical rant, repeating phrases like, "You need to know what you're going to do with your life if you don't know," over and over again. It had lost the plot entirely. The system had chewed on its own tail so many times that it had forgotten the original taste of real, human language. This is the danger enterprises are facing right now. The customer service chatbot that seems helpful today could become progressively more robotic and useless with each upgrade. The AI assistant that helps you write emails could start suggesting bizarre, nonsensical phrases. We want these systems to get smarter over time, but this process of inbreeding could render them completely pointless. So why is this happening? If human data is so much better, why are companies turning to AI-generated or synthetic data in the first place? The answer comes down to a simple problem of supply and demand. The first generation of large language models, like ChatGPT and Gemini, were trained on an almost unimaginable amount of data. They essentially scraped the entire public internet. Books, articles, scientific papers, social media posts, the digital sum of human knowledge and creativity. This diet of real, human-made content is what gave them their incredible abilities. But there's a problem. They've more or less eaten it all. The internet, as vast as it is a finite resource. To get even smarter, these models need more data, but we're running out of high-quality human text and images to feed them. This data scarcity has kicked off a new kind of gold rush. But this time, the gold is synthetic. Synthetic data is content generated by other AIs. It's cheap, abundant, and can be created on demand. Need 1 million pictures of a cat? An AI can generate them in a day. Need a library's worth of text about a specific topic? An AI can write it. For companies racing to build the next great AI, this seems like the perfect solution to the data bottleneck. It's a shortcut that allows them to keep the training pipeline flowing without having to worry about copyright issues or the messy, unpredictable nature of human data. But this shortcut is also a trap. As we've seen, training on synthetic data doesn't just pad a dataset, it distorts it. According to one expert, having even 0.01% of this contaminated data can lead to a drastic drop in an AI's performance. Despite these risks, the allure of synthetic data is so strong that even the biggest players in the game are making massive bets on it. A move that could either save the industry or accelerate its decline. If you know anything about the AI boom, you know the name Nvidia. They are the undisputed king of the hardware that powers it all. Their GPUs are the digital shovels and pickaxes of the AI gold rush. So when a company like Nvidia makes a big move, everyone pays attention. And recently, they made a very big move. Nvidia bought a company called Gretel. Gretel isn't a hardware company. They specialize in creating high-quality synthetic data. The acquisition shows that even the GPU king, the company that provides the fundamental building blocks of AI, is betting heavily on AI feeding AI to keep the industry moving forward. Their plan is to integrate Gretel's technology directly into their services, allowing developers to pump a steady stream of synthetic data into their models. This is a massive gamble that could go one of two ways. If Nvidia's play works, and Gretel's technology can create synthetic data that is genuinely as good as the real thing, it could rewrite who controls the supply of AI's most precious resource. Nvidia wouldn't just be selling the hardware, they'd be selling the data too, giving them an even tighter grip on the entire industry. But if it backfires, if this synthetic data accelerates the process of AI inbreeding, we could be facing an industry-wide catastrophe. Imagine a world where every new AI model is slightly worse than the one before it, where the technology we rely on becomes less trustworthy and more detached from reality with every update. It's a future of compounding decay. This high-stakes environment creates a new kind of competitive advantage, one that has nothing to do with better algorithms or faster chips. In a world that is becoming flooded with AI-generated content, with a synthetic digital reality that is constantly folding in on itself, one thing becomes incredibly valuable: the real thing. The value of authentic, high-quality, human-generated data is about to skyrocket. This creates what investors call a moat, a competitive advantage that's incredibly difficult for rivals to overcome. In the new age of AI, the ultimate moat might not be a better algorithm, but a better data set. Companies that have spent decades amassing huge proprietary archives of human data, think news organizations, publishers, or massive social media platforms with user-generated content, are suddenly sitting on a goldmine. Their vast libraries of real human expression could become the only reliable source of training data left, allowing them to build AI models that are more creative, more accurate, and less prone to the degenerative effects of inbreeding. We're already seeing this play out, with companies like OpenAI and Mistral AI striking partnerships with news agencies like the Associated Press and AFP, just to secure a pipeline of authentic, human-vetted information. This could lead to a future where the AI landscape is divided into two camps: the data-rich, who can continue to build powerful and reliable models, and the data-poor, who are forced to scavenge in the polluted ecosystem of synthetic data, with their models becoming more and more detached from reality. The democratization of AI, which fueled the last few years of innovation, could be over. But this race against time isn't lost yet. There are ways to fight back against the tide of digital decay. The threat of AI inbreeding isn't a technical problem with a simple fix. It's a fundamental challenge to the very future we're trying to build. The dream of AI was one of compounding intelligence, a tool that would help us solve humanity's biggest problems. But when models eat their own tail, that compounding becomes decay, leading to a future that is not just less intelligent, but also strangely monotonous. To avoid this, the path forward requires a conscious, deliberate effort. It means placing a higher value on human creativity and investing in the collection and curation of real, diverse data. It means using synthetic data as a careful supplement, not a wholesale replacement. And it means developing better ways to tell the difference between human and machine, like digital watermarks that are harder to fake. The race against model collapse is a race against time. Without a course correction, the powerful AI systems that amazed us with their creativity and knowledge could become little more than distorted echoes of their former selves, trapped in a feedback loop of their own making. The challenge is to ensure that as AI evolves, it continues to learn from the best of us, not the worst of itself. The goal isn't to stop AI from learning, but to ensure it never forgets who its teachers are. If you found this video fascinating, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the technologies shaping our world. Thanks for watching.